Hey, it's Mark Allen. Thanks for watching 4-Color Commentary.
Isaiah.
And look who's back. Man.
Me.
It's him. It's Isaiah. Seth is on a road trip with his mom and with a cousin. But here's a few things we're going to do today. Finally got Isaiah here to talk about Batman, the New 52, Volume 1, the Court of Owls. And that was just amazing work. And they're going to get a little bit of his opinion of that as a youngster. And because this is new to us. We just read it the first time the last couple of months. And great stuff. Great Scott Snyder story and Greg Capullo art and just wonderful stuff. But anyway, I'm going to go through just a few gimmicks and obscurities. And we're going to talk about what we're excited about phases 4 and 5 of Marvel MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe. Because there's some exciting news coming out. Some confusing news coming out, but some exciting news coming out. Of course, we know all of it won't pan out necessarily, but much of it will. And so we're looking forward to that. So, I'm going to begin with Batman, New 52, Court of Owls.
Okay. I really like this one. It's awesome. I like how they were just adding a lot of stuff because the Court of Owls wasn't a big thing at all through like many other comics. Was it?
No, it was
I
new.
Didn't think
it was
so.
new.
I thought it was new. And it was really cool how they talked about how it had been there for so long, and but they just now thought Batman of like a worthy opponent. And so, I also, one thing that confused me, it shouldn't have, but it just caught my attention. It was in the beginning, Black Mask had a white mask, which is weird, but I didn't get that. I'm still waiting to read Volume 2, because Volume 1 left on a cliffhanger, and
Volume 2 is in my reading stack, and it's currently not ready for him to read it yet, because I insist on reading it first. So, anyway.
But the fact when it talked about Dick Grayson being the
Spoiler alert!
Yeah,
spoiler alert! And 3, 2, 1.
Dick Grayson's supposed to be the next Talon. That was like mind blowing.
Yeah.
And I didn't talk for the rest
Dick
of the day.
Grayson being a sleeper agent. The reason I give the spoiler alert is because I know that there are some older comics guys out there that are like me. Maybe you didn't read the New 52 stuff. Maybe you just didn't want it. I know at the time there was a lot of guys my age from my generation were like, it's the new DC. I'm not messing with it.
It was great.
And I'm going to tell you, there was just some amazing storytelling. And going along with what Isaiah said, I liked how they established that the Court of Owls had been there just practically from the beginning of Gotham's history. And they'd always been orchestrating things in the background. And it's almost like they didn't, they didn't think, they always began to think of Batman as worthy as an adversary because he was beginning to be a fly in their ointment. And so otherwise they didn't really think much of Batman. But it was really interesting seeing Bruce Wayne, Batman, taken off guard by a force that had been in his city since long before even his father had been alive. So really neat stuff. And of course, I can't say enough about the Greg Capullo art. And
it was awesome. Coming
from the standpoint of an old guy who remembers Capullo when he first came on in the days of Image Comics and was like took over the penciling of Spawn from Todd McFarlane and did stuff like that. And which his art was always good. It was serviceable and decent. But he has really, it's amazing to see where he's come and how talented he is today. So anyway, good stuff, old guys out there. If you haven't read Batman the New 52 stuff, it's worth a read. And the neat thing is, you can pick this up now on eBay and Amazon, stuff like that, for pretty affordable prices.
Volume 2, too. Yeah. But I have gotten to read that.
Yeah, I got that one for right around $6, and that's shipping included. So, so that's good deal. Good deal. Okay, MCU.
Oh.
What blows your mind? What news blows your mind?
It'd be quicker to say what doesn't blow my mind, but
top 3 things.
Beta Ray Bill. It's gonna be awesome if we get to see him, whether it's in Guardians or Thor 4. I've wanted to see him since Thor Ragnarok, where it showed him on the building of the Contest of Champions.
Well, we found out recently that actually there were scenes shot with Beta Ray Bill for Ragnarok, and at the last minute they were cut from the movie.
Right. So. Which I wish they wouldn't have, because that would have been so cool to see him.
So whether it's Guardians or whether it's the next Thor movie, we can't wait to see Beta Ray Bill.
And what I don't know about that, though, is I thought since he's worthy of Mjolnir now, that Beta Ray Bill would get Stormbreaker. But now that we're figuring out that in Thor 4, Thor won't be worthy.
Right.
And
Jane Foster's going to be picking up Mjolnir. And
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
We won't go there. We don't want to get embroiled in any socio-political.
It could be cool. It could be cool.
That kind of stuff. But yeah, no, anything could be done well if it's done well. Yeah. Anything could be entertaining if it's well done, and they focus on characters, focus on story.
Yeah, and I'm super excited. There's some speculation that say Namor will be the villain in Black Panther 2.
Yep. Which
would be awesome.
It'd be amazing to see that happen. It would be amazing to see Namor, and because really there's similarities there. Some may say, well, no, not, and I'm not talking about power-wise, but Namor being the king of his own civilization, Black Panther being the king of his civilization, both of them being, incredibly technologically, scientifically advanced, and it could end up being a real camaraderie between the two nations, the two peoples, which,
It would be awesome as long as Namor has pants. And, in Phase 5...
Hey, the 70s, Namor's 70s costume, the blue with the gold fins, the wings.
That was cool.
That was awesome. And I remember spent a lot of time in the 80s and 90s making fun of that costume, but I always liked that costume. I hope they kind of do something like that for the movie.
As long as he has pants.
As long as he
has pants in the MCU. Everybody needs
none of those bikini briefs.
Nope. In Phase 5, I'm excited for the Fantastic Four. Because I'm hoping it's like the Spider-Man. The first reboot was great. I mean, the first one was great. The reboot was okay. And then Spider-Man was awesome. And I'm hoping it'll be the same thing for Fantastic Four, because I really liked the first two. A lot of people didn't, but I thought it was really cool. And then the reboot was horrible. Thing looked awesome, but it was horrible. And, but now, this could be really cool.
Right. Well, and
for it.
Speaking of Fantastic Four, and they've already pretty much confirmed that Galactus is going to be the next big villain. I don't think we're going to see him until Phase 5.
As long as he's not a storm, just a huge cosmic storm. No. He's not going to be a huge cosmic storm. He is going to be a being. He is going to be, and they're going to try to do justice with him. But what's really interesting, what I've read just recently, is that is his choice of Herald, which isn't going to be in the classics. It isn't going to be Silver Surfer or Fire Lord or even Terex. The Tamer Terex would have been very cool to see. It's going to be Tyrant. And not nothing against that. I like Tyrant. Tyrant cool. is a character, a villain from Silver Surfer Volume 3 from back in 1993. He first appeared in issue number 81. I've had that comic multiple times, and doggone it, I just noticed today that it's also taken off on eBay, and a lot of those. And I don't have it anymore. Lo and behold, so I'm going to be hitting the dollar boxes again for issue number 81. That doesn't really matter, but no, he's a cool character, created by Ron Mars and Ron Lim, just for that series, and just really, really neat, very powerful character. This is a character who, in the comics, was a Herald of Galactus and became powerful enough to go head to head with Galactus himself. And so he's pretty awesome character, and just kind of neat, But I think that's right. Ron Mars, created by Ron Mars and Ron Lim. And but anyway, so good stuff there. So, and then also they're talking about the next Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man 3, even though it wasn't on those 10 movies that they showed for Wave 4 or Phase 4, but they are working on it. I understand, and there's some issues with Sony. In fact, I think they've said, Kevin Feige has even said that Sony's going to do a crossover, Spider-Man and Venom. That's planned. Their long-term plans is they're wanting to see that happen. So he didn't watch Far From Home.
I have not seen Far From Home yet.
But it was awesome.
I have given up any hopes of not having it spoiled in one way or another. It'll be spoiled.
I was so excited about the first end credit scene.
Yeah. So, but I haven't seen it yet. Too much life going on. But anyway, so really excited about the MCU. Excited about things coming up. And so it'll be cool stuff. All right, let's get to some comics. How about some gimmicks? Here's some gimmicks. First, just a couple, but first, both of them, the Incredible Hulk. Since the poor Incredible Hulk doesn't look like he's going to get another movie, we'll just talk about some of his gimmicks. This is Incredible Hulk number 393 from the early 90s, and this is during the time that Dale Keown was doing the art on there. I love that, just that beautiful green foil cover. And, I remember when, and I don't even know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but Keown, the creator of Pitt for Image Comics, I remember when he came on this book. I was obviously still an avid comics fan at the time, was picking up a lot of new books. And Dale came on with his art style. And I remember thinking something reminiscent of early John Byrne and just amazing work. I remember how the Hulk took off under that. It was still already popular, but it just took off under Keown's art. And he was a hot artist there for a while. But that is a Dale Keown cover. And I'm probably, like I said, butchering his name, but that green foil cover. I like the gimmick stuff. What can I tell you? And then one other Hulk gimmick issue number 425. This is actually I believe this is a Liam Sharp. I didn't check that out, but I think that's a Liam Sharp cover. And the foil image in the center as the Hulk transforms from Bruce Banner to the Incredible Hulk. And there you get it. It's a beautiful cover. I'll never apologize for liking the gimmicks. I like the gimmicks, but I just wait till they come to the dollar boxes now. So that's
I like them even more.
And I like them even more. Now here's a couple of obscurities. All right, Jack Frost #1 by Amazing Comics. This is from 1987. Reason why this is important: this is a book by Kevin Van Hook, who many of you know is a comic book artist today. Also has worked in movies and television. He actually has worked on some movies that we like. Miss Congeniality. He worked on Miss Congeniality. He worked on the Daredevil movie, which I know a lot of comics fans panned it, but I liked it.
I liked it.
We both liked it, and he also worked on. Get ready, you didn't even know this. He worked on the 13th Warrior, and we love the 13th Warrior.
Yeah,
and
awesome.
And so that's a great one of the 3 Antonio Banderas movies that I think are worth watching. But that's a Kevin Van Hook production, written, drawn, everything by Kevin Van Hook. There's some really neat black and white art in there, and go ahead and show you a little bit of that. Kevin Van Hook, as far as his comic work, known primarily for his Bloodshot work for Valiant. But here's the first some of the first spread. In there, get some really nice Kevin Van Hook black and white artwork there. So that's just one of those obscurities to look for, and so that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Something to look for there. Jack Frost #1 from Amazing Comics from 1987, and then one last obscurity here. This is something new to me. There was I wasn't this by the early 90s. I mean, I was wrapping up college and into youth ministry and everything, and I didn't realize that there was even this cartoon running, but there's a cartoon called King Arthur and the Knights of Justice, and it first aired in 1992. Actually, Avi Arad, who was the founder of Marvel Studios, worked on this comic, and I think that's the only Marvel-related, connection there, I believe. But what's really cool is, and I'll need your help on this, you'll need to hold that one up for me. There was this really cool three-issue series done. Is this right? No, got it mixed up. Here, hold that one. All right. This really cool 3-issue series with the interlocking covers. Let's get those as close as we can. By the fan favorite artist Michael Golden. And they're just these really cool interlocking covers of these 3 knights on there, and that's really just kind of the neatest thing about the whole series. It was just a little 3-issue mini. I honestly don't even remember who did the art inside, but I do know that as soon as I saw those covers years ago, I thought, oh my goodness, that's not very good art inside. Wait, I shouldn't have said that before I saw who did it. We just won't even mention who did it, but anyway, those are wonderful Michael Golden covers. If you're a Michael Golden fan, These can be found in dollar boxes and 25-cent boxes, 50-cent boxes. Go out there and find them. They're a really cool find.
Wasn't that bad art? He's picky.
I'm picky.
Very picky.
I'm picky. It wasn't bad. It was for pretty clean lines and everything. But anyway, the covers are why I bought it. Michael Golden, you can't beat it. Just wonderful Michael Golden art. All right. Anything else?
No.
This was a short 4-color commentary for us normally, but okay. Well, anyway, thanks for watching. Hey, be sure to like the video. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, and leave a comment. Do you remember the King Arthur cartoon from the early '90s? Do you were you a fan? Were you not a fan? Anybody ever run across Jack Frost? Okay, and if you do know that I'm mispronouncing Dale Keown's last name, let me know. Okay, leave it down in the comments. But anyway, thanks for watching, and we're signing off. See you next video.